It's an urgent message from the FBI today, giving us an update on something they're describing of national importance. Let's go ahead and listen in live.
You ready? Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today. My name is Henry Leventis, the United States Attorney for the Middle District of Tennessee. I'm joined today by Doug DePodesta, Special Agent in charge of the Memphis FBI Field Office. I'm also joined by Roy Cochran, Senior Counterintelligence Executive, Department of the Army, by my first Assistant United States Attorney, Tom Jaworski, my Criminal Chief, Ben Schrader, and Assistant United States Attorney, Joshua Kurtzman. The men and women of the United States Armed Forces dedicate their lives to maintain our national security. Our laws protecting national defense information are critical to that mission, and they must be enforced. Illegal dissemination of national defense information puts our country, our fellow citizens, members of our military, and our allies at risk. We're here today as the result of our ongoing efforts to protect against threats to our national security, and we are reminded once again that those threats sometimes come from our most esteemed institutions. Today, a 6-count federal indictment was unsealed charging United States Army Sergeant Corbin Schultz with conspiracy to unlawfully communicate defense information, unlawful export of defense articles to China, conspiring to unlawfully export defense articles to China, and bribery of a public official. The indictment is a 25-page, very detailed document that I would encourage you all to read carefully. The defendant is an Army intelligence analyst assigned to the 1st Battalion, 506th Infantry Regiment and stationed at Fort Campbell. He was arrested earlier today and will make his initial appearance in court tomorrow. As an intelligence analyst, the defendant had duties including serving as a custodian for confidential information and training others on the proper handling, storage, and dissemination of confidential information. As set out in the indictment, however, the defendant is charged with entering into a multi-year conspiracy to illegally exploit his access to national defense information for his own financial benefit. He traded our national defense information for cash. This indictment charges that starting in June of 2022 and continuing through the present, the defendant, in violation of federal law, collected and transmitted sensitive U.S. military information, including export-controlled information, to a co-conspirator in China. This included documents and information related to advanced fighter aircraft, advanced military helicopters, intercontinental ballistic missiles, high-mobility artillery rocket systems, defensive missile systems, and Chinese military tactics. In exchange for providing that information, the defendant was paid by his co-conspirator on 14 separate occasions in amounts totaling approximately $42,000. The defendant and his co-conspirator also discussed recruiting another member of the U.S. military to join their conspiracy and to provide additional national defense information. In order to conceal their illegal conduct, they used multiple internet-based encrypted methods and discussed destroying evidence. This case is being handled by my office in partnership with the National Security Division. The charges today are the result of that partnership and the outstanding work, investigative work, done by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and by Army counterintelligence. I want to remind everyone that the allegations set out in the indictment are just that, allegations. And the defendant should remain presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. I also want to remind everyone that this United States Attorney's Office will remain vigilant in our efforts to protect the United States' national security, and we will continue to use every tool at our disposal to that end. Thank you.
All right, you've been listening to the FBI here out of Memphis talking about this major indictment, 26-page document of an intelligence analyst stationed at Fort Campbell who has been charged now with selling secrets to China, or at least indicted for this. It's a multi-year conspiracy, he was explaining, talking about trading national defense information for cash. The number, or at least the amount of money that he just mentioned, $42,000 for this. And we're talking about secrets about advanced aircraft, helicopters, ballistic missiles, rockets, again, between the United States and China. This particular soldier also indicted for trying to recruit other members of the military to join him. We will bring you more information as we get them.